Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm Diamond Lewis, reporting today from our new DCTV control room. On this show, we're focusing on beautification, a subject near and dear to residents, visitors, and business owners here in DeKalb. DeKalb's beautification efforts are already making a big impact in our county. In fact, one of CEO Michael Thurman's top priorities is removing blight throughout all of DeKalb County. On this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, we'll take a closer look at these beautification efforts. We'll also talk with key county officials on how they're working together to fulfill a unified vision of a more beautiful DeKalb County. Also throughout the show, we'll share some interesting facts on litter and blight. Here's a look at the county's comprehensive, ongoing efforts to clean up all of DeKalb County. DeKalb County is undergoing a revival of beauty with the formation of a comprehensive beautification unit. This relatively new division includes county services that help make DeKalb shine. Under the beautification unit, you'll find code enforcement, the foreclosure vacant property registry, Keep DeKalb Beautiful, roadside enhancement, and a clean communities crew. This new approach integrates many county services to get the job done. Additional county departments like roads and drainage, public safety, sanitation, and communications are all working together to address and eliminate blight in our communities. DeKalb County launched the first phase of Operation Clean Sweep in March of 2017 to get it all started.
We're coming into DeKalb, we're going countywide, we're going to remove debris, litter, clean the drains, and help keep DeKalb County beautiful.
Operation Clean Sweep also includes removing grass overgrowth, clearing our curbs, and mowing the county rights-of-way. Phase 1 is tackling 300 miles of major arterial roads before moving to collector roads and residential streets. Once the initial clearing is complete, street sweepers will service and maintain all 2,000 miles of DeKalb roadways and 4,000 miles of curbs 4 times a year. During the Operation Clean Sweep kickoff, county crews and volunteers cleaned more than 12 miles of roads and removed more than 50 tons of debris. Just a short 2 months later, those numbers increased to more than 205 tons of debris cleared and more than 40 miles of major DeKalb County roadways cleaned. And those numbers will continue rising each and every week. Adding to the overall beautification of the county, DeKalb's roadside enhancement unit maintains 5,000 miles of rights-of-way with mowing, herbicide application, and litter pickup. Another county beautification effort targets abandoned or neglected properties. The abatement program secures buildings that are open to trespass, and it addresses blighted properties within unincorporated DeKalb County that are overcome with grass, trash, and junk. This program transforms troubled properties to reduce significant hazards that are commonly associated with them. The county allocated funding in its mid-year budget for the abatement of 50 blighted properties and 23 houses scheduled for demolition using both federal and local funds. 4 of the buildings slated for demolition are burnt-out, unsafe structures within the 368-unit Brandon Hill condominium complex.
People have got to start retaking responsibility for their community. So we want to make this a way for people to see that it's not just the county cleaning up, but we're asking everyone to join in.
More than 1,000 county residents recently tidied their homes and neighborhoods by taking advantage of Amnesty Day, a free disposal event at the county-owned Seminole Road landfill in Ellenwood. 58 county employees staffed the day-long collaborative effort between the Sanitation Division, Code Enforcement, and Police Services. The county processed 550 tons of furniture, metals, appliances, and construction and demolition materials during this one-day event.
It's going to take more than the government to do this. We need the faith-based community, we need the homeowners association, the sororities, the fraternities. We need everyone to come aboard.
If we work together, these communities, these groups, put forth an effort, because you got to have somebody to spearhead these things sometime. And we all get out there and just work together with them collectively. I'm going to tell you, we can do a great thing.
Another tool the county has to protect neighborhoods from blight is the Foreclosure Vacant Property Registry. This program was established to keep track of and hold property owners accountable when a property falls into disrepair and ownership has been transferred after foreclosure. Failure to register a foreclosed property can result in a penalty of up to $1,000. DeKalb Magistrate Court also launched a new effort that targets neglected properties. Chief DeKalb Magistrate Judge Burl Anderson, along with other county officials, created a court calendar that focuses specifically on abandoned and rundown properties. Once a month, the Magistrates Court Ordinance Division will hear cases concerning properties cited for multiple code violations. Under final orders from these judges, property owners will be required to repair or demolish these dangerous properties. If not, the county will be allowed to tear down the properties and eventually collect demolition costs from the property owners. Beautification efforts in DeKalb County are aimed at helping citizens dramatically improve their neighborhood's environment and aesthetics. Well-maintained, clean communities discourage littering, illegal dumping, and crime. They also contribute to the overall health of our environment.
We're all in this together. Paraphrasing the late U.S. Senator Hubert Humphrey, you judge the quality of life of a community, not by how those who are wealthy or well-educated or well-off. That's not the measure that you see. You measure the quality of life by those who are impoverished, those who are helpless, those who live on the edges of our society.
While this is a government initiative, county officials urge all DeKalb County stakeholders to fight blight wherever you can to protect our beloved DeKalb County. To see an ongoing updated list of DeKalb streets and roadways scheduled for roadside enhancement, go online to the county's homepage and look for roadside enhancement under the Beautification Department. Now let's check in with Crystal Thomas, who's joining us throughout this show with information on how litter and blight affect us all. Crystal?
Thanks, Diamond. We're here at Mason Mill Park to talk to you about why it's important to keep DeKalb beautiful and free of litter. You know, it's the little things that can make a big impact. Ever thrown a piece of paper out of your car window? You probably didn't stop to think about how that negatively affects our environment, but no worries, I'm here to help. You recognize litter when you see it. When litter starts to pile up in a community, that leads to blight, which nobody wants. Blight and litter go hand in hand, and they have a significant effect on our environment. They're directly related to pollution. They can also clog storm drains and cause flooding. Plus, it's just plain unsightly. Do your part and help keep DeKalb County clean. I'll be back a little later to share more tips with you all about littering and the law. Back to you, Diamond.
Thanks, Crystal. We've got a lot more in store for you coming up.
Find out how one DeKalb County neighborhood is getting revamped and revitalized to provide a better quality of life for its residents.
And we'll dive right into the beautification unit and how it's bringing about significant improvements here in DeKalb. Stay with us.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. If an area of your community is plagued by vacant homes, litter, or dumping, it can bring down the quality of life in your neighborhood. Areas plagued by these eyesores are less likely to sustain economic growth, which means new businesses and new families more than likely won't come there. Recently, several code enforcement officers patrolled the southwest corridor of the county and in a show of force sent a strong message to property owners that being in compliance is the new normal for DeKalb County. Here now is Elena Daniel with more.
In this particular area, there's a few vacant properties in this area. It's one of the reasons why we out today is to tackle this blighted area. So we definitely go try to clean it up in this area, try to bring this part of the county up.
Trash, old furniture, junk cars, all of this contributes to the blight within the Moreland Avenue corridor of DeKalb County.
They don't see nothing wrong until they clean it up.
For code enforcement officers like Jay Cockrell, tackling blighted areas like this is second nature.
We do this every day. That's our job, is cleaning up the county with the beautification department, just trying to make it look good out here.
Part of cleaning up DeKalb comes in assisting with CEO Michael Thurman's Operation Clean Sweep and removing debris from major roadways. However, code enforcement knew it was time to initiate the next level of Operation Clean Sweep.
We're evolving in our mission to work on how the businesses look, how the residents look, and how the actual community look. So this is an expansion. This is our effort to fight blight in DeKalb County. And we're here today to show, in a show of force, that we're ready to do that.
In code enforcement's effort to support Operation Clean Sweep, they are tackling blight in business and residential areas, educating the community, and making sure that business owners and residents are getting involved in keeping their county free of blight.
The businesses, the neighborhood, government, all of us trying to work together because we recognize that this is a big issue. It's been going on for a long time. You just let it pile up and pile up and pile up, and guess what? Now all of a sudden say, boom, what can we do to remediate this issue?
This show of force focuses on making sure eyesores like this are removed, and business owners like Steve Levitan are excited to see the change.
South DeKalb and this area of DeKalb, in many cases, has been neglected, and it's a great partnership now to clean up this area.
They came to us, we responded, and I think they're very pleased with this effort. They identified all the hot spots in this community, and I took code enforcement on a ride around, and we saw all of the trash. It's not just trash, the tires, my God, the tires, the pallets, everything imaginable that people just think for some reason because they drive trucks around here that they're allowed to just trash it. So we're here to set a new example.
The new example, letting people know that it's a new day in DeKalb County and that litter, debris, and other eyesores that bring down quality of life will not be tolerated.
Our role in the beautification department is to provide a quality of life, a quality of place here in DeKalb County. Our job today is to ensure that people understand one thing. DeKalb County is serious about the way it feels about how it looks and enforcing the code.
Major step forward today with cleaning up the business district here, sending a message that north, south, east, and west, that we are focused on reducing blight, remediating litter, and making and creating a high quality of life countywide.
And anytime Officer Cockrell or any other officer goes out into DeKalb County, they plan to do just that.
I have a sense of pride in doing my job and doing it well. And also, I want to see my work done well, and that's cleaning up the county. When I go to an area that I'm specifically to work, I try to make sure that once I leave and come back, the area look real nice and clean, and I know my job has been done.
But ultimately, it will take all of us, business owners, residents, and county leaders, working together to bring DeKalb County back to the crown jewel it once was, because we can't do it alone.
We're going to work until the mission is complete. We're excited. The education is a big component where every citizen has a role to play. Don't throw away that cigarette butt. Don't drop the litter when you drive away from the fast food restaurant. You have a role to play. I have a role to play. If we work together, we can get the job done.
As Operation Clean Sweep continues, the Beautification Department and others will be there every step of the way to make sure the job gets done. I'm Elena Daniel. Let's talk DeKalb.
Thanks, Elena. We'll check back in with Elena a little later on in this show for a follow-up on some of those property owners. Now, if you want additional information on code enforcement in DeKalb County, call 404-687-3700. Time now to go back out to Crystal with this bit of helpful information on litter reduction and keeping you on the right side of the law. Crystal?
Thanks, Diamond. I'm back again. Not only is littering unsightly and costly to clean up, it's also against the law, and violators can face steep penalties if caught. Throwing litter out of your car window, abandoning an old car, or illegally dumping waste can result in fines up to $1,000 or land you right here in court, and anyone caught could be charged with a misdemeanor. So, get to know your local laws on littering and don't become a part of the problem, become a part of the solution. I'll be back with more tips. Back to you, Diamond.
Thanks, Crystal. As we continue this special edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, we're talking beautification details. Join us as we sit down with that department's director, Marcus Kellum, to find out how he and his staff make a difference for us all. That's next. Welcome back to Let's Talk DeKalb. This edition showcases our county officials and employees and their hard work to make DeKalb County shine. One employee critical to the county's beautification efforts, Beautification Director Marcus Kellum. We caught up with him recently at the Beautification Department's headquarters. Here's that interview. Again, we're on location on Candler Road in Decatur at the headquarters of DeKalb County's code enforcement. Now, as we talked about, this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb showcases our county officials and employees as their hard work to make DeKalb County shine. Joining us today is none other than Marcus Kellum. Marcus is the director of DeKalb County's beautification unit. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us today on this rather warm day.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Now, Marcus, talk to us about what exactly is the purpose and the mission of DeKalb County's beautification department?
It's a combination of the Code Enforcement Division, the Keep DeKalb Beautiful Division, and the mowing crew, the litter crew, and all the folks that work together to change the way that DeKalb County looks. The outcome of all of our tasks are to, one, ensure that the county is compliant with all the codes. Two, ensure that the county has a curb appeal, has that aesthetic look that attracts people, attracts investors, and for everybody to be involved in the county. So our job is to coordinate these efforts while the litter crew is removing debris, while the mowing crew is cutting grass. Code enforcement is working with the property owners and the business owners to help them understand that it's a collaborative effort. We must work together in order to do it, and the county is willing to do its part, and we're going to hold the residents responsible for doing their part also.
There's a lady, Cynthia Houston.
Yeah.
I see her all the time over off of Stone Mountain Lithonia Road, cleaning up that corridor by herself, and she's been doing this for years. Talk about how our residents can become a part of the solution.
Indeed. Our job is to provide the level of service that the taxpayers demand. But the bigger picture is caring for your community. Beautification's Keep DeKalb Beautiful division has an Adopt a Road program that allows people like Cynthia Houston, who's committed to going out and making sure her area is clean, can adopt the road and help us help them. So it's important that the property owners, it's important that the residents, it's important that the business owners know that our job is to support them as well as provide their service and inspire them and empower them to become a part of the solution.
Now, I know you all have been doing incredible work in a short amount of time, but if you would describe for me, you know that thermometer that you always see when someone's tracking the progress of something. Tell me, how far have we come already since the launch of this initiative?
So our beautification initiative it has a life cycle that tells us that we're probably
40% underway. And I say 40%, a lot of work has been done. We've removed 250 tons of debris from the county rights-of-way just with Operation Clean Sweep. I say with all the work and the cases and the 22,000 cases we had in court last year, we're only about 40% done. The evolution of this program has to do with demolishing properties, abating properties, has to do with holding property owners and commercial businesses responsible for ensuring that their areas are clean. So I'd say 40%, and the effort is ongoing.
Now, Marcus, we all know that any department cannot be successful without the support of the administrators in any entity. So talk to me about the support and how this is truly a top priority for CEO Michael Thurman and the entire DeKalb County Board of Commissioners.
The level of support we receive from the CEO's office, the executive staff, and the Board of Commissioners have been incredible. All of our requests in terms of manpower, equipment, and such has been approved, has been embraced. They understand the need to have an aesthetically pleasing county. So without the legislators in place to put in place the laws and support our efforts, we would not be able to accomplish these goals. So yeah, absolutely. Without them, we wouldn't be as successful as we've been. So I am extremely proud of the men and women of the Code Enforcement Division, the hardworking men and women of the mowing and herbicide, the folks that pick up the litter, Keep DeKalb Beautiful, the people that are installing the signs, just a collaborative effort. The folks that we have on our team can't be beat. They are dedicated to making sure that we clean this county up.
Marcus Kellum, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb and for all the work you're doing to make these roads simply beautiful and a whole lot safer.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Diamond.
Great insights from Marcus. As we've mentioned, Keep DeKalb Beautiful, or KDB, is part of DeKalb's beautification unit. KDB works with communities to eliminate blight throughout DeKalb County. As you heard at the beginning of the show, eliminating residential and commercial blight is a top priority here in DeKalb. Here now is DCTV's Aviva Hoffman with this report on a unique KDB program that artfully gets rid of some of the worst illegal dumping sites throughout our county.
DeKalb County utilizes art to combat blight. Keep DeKalb Beautiful's Barriers to Beauty program transforms heavy concrete blocks into art pieces that help eliminate illegal dump sites.
How many people have seen like 4 or 5 tires together on the side of the road? Does that look nice or bad? Bad! Thank you. So these barriers prevent people from putting those kind of things in your neighborhood.
They limit access to vehicles hoping to dump their trash. Decorated with colorful, whimsical scenes, limited only by the artist's imaginations, the barriers help everyone take pride in their communities.
I like art. Now we're putting art in a neighborhood, and that artwork typically is created by people actually of all ages that live in those areas.
This type of project can be engaging for the very young to the very old, and having beautifully painted barriers in an area makes it more attractive and takes emphasis away from abandoned and neglected properties.
Before this Clean Community Initiative, illegal dumping was an ongoing issue in some areas.
And there's a pickup truck stacked way over height, full of trash and stuff. And I'm going down Callan Road right behind him, and he pulls into the abandoned health center with this truckload of trash. I got out of my truck and I told him, you're not dumping that stuff here. I told him to get in his truck and drive away.
For several years after that, every time the community held a cleanup day, the trash reappeared soon after.
On a monthly basis, we're picking up couches, furniture, bureaus, you name it, chairs, TVs, every month.
After installing concrete barriers, KDB has noticed a big drop in the amount of illegal dumping in the affected areas.
And we've got a number of places where we track those things over time, and we've seen those results. Now, we can't solve every issue with those things, but it's one of the tools in our toolkit.
You want yellow, red?
Instead of hiring artists to paint the barriers, KDB engages community members to design something they want to see in their neighborhoods.
Oh, I think it's wonderful for them to have the experience of doing
something for their community, to be engaged in their community and then see their work out in their community and show kids at a real young age that it doesn't take much to be engaged and help beautify their whole community.
No matter your age, in DeKalb County, you have many opportunities to contribute back to your neighborhood in a positive way.
This is important. You know, how do you feel about your neighborhood when it's dirty? You know, do people dump in your neighborhood, and how does that make you feel about where you live? And then asking on the other side, when an area is clean and attractive, how does that make you feel as well?
Another great feature of the Barriers to Beauty program, most of the materials are repurposed or already in stock. Recycled campaign signs are used to create stencils of picket fences, flowers, butterflies, and more. A few additional items used for the program at only minimal costs.
So keep your eyes open because you're bound to see these barriers in various places throughout the entire county. And if you'd like to learn more about the Barriers to Beauty program, or you want to organize a project,
you can contact KDB at 404-294-2010 or go online to DeKalb's website at DeKalbCountyGA.gov and look for KDB under the Beautification unit. Aviva Hoffman, let's talk DeKalb.
Thanks, Aviva. What a great opportunity to create public art throughout DeKalb County while also getting rid of illegal dump sites at the same time. Let's go now to Crystal Thomas again with this tidbit on another program making our county beautiful, DeKalb's very own convenient curbside recycling program.
Thanks, Diamond. We're here at a very loud central transfer station where everything is taking place to make sure our county looks great. Did you know that the DeKalb County Sanitation Division offers a free residential recycling program? They make it simple and easy to recycle. This makes sure that there is a decrease of blight and litter in our environment.
There are tons of items that can be recycled, including paper, plastic, steel, and aluminum cans. And now there's a specialized glass recycling program. But it's important to note that there are also some items that shouldn't be recycled, especially anything contaminated with food. For all the details about DeKalb's recycling program, call 404-294-2900 or go online to DeKalbCountyGA.gov and choose sanitation from the Quick Link section.
So why not recycle when DeKalb County makes it so simple and convenient? I'll be back soon with you guys to share more tips. Back to you, Diamond.
Thanks, Crystal. Coming up on Let's Talk DeKalb, DeKalb's Code Enforcement Administrator will join us for some insight on her department and how it helps our communities.
And later in the show, we'll take you to the Brandon Hill condominiums to show you what DeKalb County is doing to beautify this particular neighborhood.
That and much more just after this break.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Welcome back to this special beautification edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm your host, Diamond Lewis. This edition is highlighting the making of a beautiful DeKalb free of litter and blight. Next up, we take a look at critical tools in achieving that feat. Code enforcement officers enforce codes or ordinances related to property maintenance, zoning, planning, special land use, signs, and permits. They also work closely with the fire marshals and police services to keep DeKalb at its very best. The Bureau of Code Compliance is responsible for the inspection and enforcement of residential and commercial properties. We spoke to Code Enforcement Administrator Tanza Clark to find out all about it. Let's take a look now at that interview. Joining us now is Tanza Clark, Administrator of DeKalb County's Code Enforcement Division. Thank you so much for joining us, Tanza.
Diamond, it's my pleasure.
Now let's get right into it. What's new in the world, in the work of code enforcement here in DeKalb County?
Oh my gosh, what is not new? We have launched a series of new initiatives along with our regular garden variety code enforcement, but I am excited about it. One of the things that we recently launched is our comprehensive neighborhood sweeps. And with that, we are going into neighborhoods and we are cleaning up the entire neighborhood. My goal for code enforcement is to start cleaning up our major corridors.
Right.
And do it one corridor at a time. Now that is an enormous undertaking.
Absolutely.
When you think of how large our corridors are.
What kind of reception are you receiving from business owners and residents when they see you coming in and doing such a concerted effort?
We go in, we create these partnerships. If there is a business association, we partner with them and let them know that we're here to work alongside you, with you. We need your help because we can't do it alone. And of course, the last thing that we want to do is issue citations and have to take that process to court because it's a lengthy, expensive process. So we ask the businesses to partner with us and let's clean it up together.
Now that's a perfect segue because this is my next question. I think you kind of reached in my mind a little bit because it's code, because you want to make sure you abide by the code of the county, and then enforcement. Talk to us about that enforcement piece. What's the process for it? Because it like you said, it's lengthy. Talk to us about the enforcement aspect of what you do.
The enforcement action starts with the inspection. We go out, we do an inspection, and then if we find any violations, some violations we will write a warning notice. However, there are some codes that require an immediate citation, such as unregistered vehicle, things like that. Warrants an immediate citation. So once a citation has been issued, then a court date is set, the homeowner's notified of the court date, and then we take it to court. And the homeowner they have time in between when that citation is issued and the court date to clean the property up. Usually the judges will take that into consideration and will work with the homeowner if they clean it up by the court date. Now, when we go out and we issue a warning notice, that triggers a reinspection. And we try to work with the homeowner, depending on the situation, to give them a reasonable amount of time to clean it up. Usually our standard is about 2 or 3 weeks that we will go back and do that reinspection. And then when we do the reinspection, if they are in compliance, we close the case.
So we'll work with you?
Yes.
Okay.
If they're not in compliance, then we go to court.
We talked in our last segment with Marcus about how everyone has a responsibility here in our county to eliminate and reduce this blight. So talk to me about how if you see something in your community, you don't have to drive by it every day and just say, oh, that's an eyesore and not do anything about it. What can you do if you're driving down the street every day in your neighborhood and you see there's a violation? Talk to me about that.
So and again, that goes back to partnership. We need our residents to partner with us. Because a lot of times our residents think code enforcement is supposed to solve it all. We just can't. We have to work together.
Right.
And so what we ask is that our residents call us if they see a violation or something that is, blighting the neighborhood, to give us a call and report it, and we will send an officer out within 72 hours, within 3 days, to inspect that property. We keep at it. I can't tell you how many hours we put into those properties. And we keep working at it until we get solutions. So, and sometimes it takes years, Diamond.
Sure.
And, sometimes our residents ask, well, this property's still in the same condition, and I've reported it 3 years ago. Every property is unique when it comes to gaining compliance.
What sticks out is I know the importance of code enforcement, the work that you're doing. But when you say that it goes hand in hand with the public safety within our county, this goes hand in hand with the health issues in our county, directly impacting families and children. This work is critical. This work is so necessary.
It is.
And you're doing something about it. And like you said, it's not an overnight thing. And so I know a lot of times people say, well, what are they doing? And you all are doing something. And I want our viewers to know that you are doing something. Now, I know that you have a lot of support.
from the CEO and Board of Commissioners because this is a top priority.
It is.
Within DeKalb County. But I can also see that you have a lot of pride in the men and women who go out there and are the boots on the ground every day.
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you to you for your work and thank you to your team for all that you're doing
They
to
are
beautify this county.
awesome. Yes, they are awesome.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb and for the work that you're going to continue to do in DeKalb County.
Thanks, Diamond.
Now, a few weeks after the code enforcement sweep we brought you earlier in the show, officers went back out to the Moreland Avenue corridor. Elena Daniel has more now on this story about what they found and what happened to residents that were still not in compliance. Elena?
More than 3 weeks after the code enforcement sweep, code officers are back again at the Moreland Avenue corridor to see who's in compliance and who's not.
We come on, we're taking photos for evidence. We're coming to see if anything has been corrected. If there's still violation exists, we go and issue more citations for a later court date. So mainly, as we started our first one, we don't see too much compliance.
This property owner unfortunately still has a lot of work to do in order to bring their property into compliance. Code enforcement officers issued more than 130 citations during the Moreland Avenue sweep. However, it's not just about issuing the citation, it's about educating the individual. The placard left on your door not only cites the violations, it has the number of a code officer you can contact and see how you can work with your code officer to bring your property into compliance and avoid further citations.
First piece is education. I mean, a lot of individuals, residents, business owners really are not aware that there is code ordinances are in place to keep the sustainability of the neighborhood, of the commercial corridors. So educating piece is the first key. So when they understand why we're out here, why we're trying to bring back the neighborhood or just bring awareness to say, hey, you know what, you got to clean your property up. These things are in place to keep a balance.
But for some, the education portion is a hard lesson to learn, and it can sometimes involve time in court and fines.
Today we're actually in court to impose fines or find out who's guilty, who's not guilty, and find out if they corrected the properties, which we conducted a sweep on Moreland Avenue and Moreland surrounding areas.
Out of the more than 130 citations, more than 30% of people were in compliance. That number may seem like a small amount, but it's a big step to getting the Moreland Avenue corridor back on track.
Well, it makes us feel like we have done our job, that we've actually made a difference in what we were trying to do. The goal is never to actually issue citations, is actually to get them in compliance prior to getting to that point.
And soon, other major corridors in DeKalb County will be getting the same code enforcement crackdown experience.
We actually have a strategic challenge to go to all the major corridors throughout the county and bring them also into compliance. We'll be looking at all the violations the same way we did in the Moreland area, and we'll do our best to make sure that they come into compliance as well.
As code enforcement works with residents each day to bring the county up to code, this will help to improve many aspects of the county, bringing the quality of life full circle.
We're trying to make a difference every day so that people want to come, play, and buy properties in DeKalb County.
And code enforcement officers will continue their mission each and every day to do just that. I'm Elena Daniel. Let's talk DeKalb.
Thanks, Elena. As mentioned earlier, more corridors of DeKalb County will be inspected by DeKalb's code enforcement. In fact, you'll likely notice an increase in code enforcement officers near your area. And again, if you would like more information about DeKalb County's code enforcement, you can contact them by phone at 404-687-3700. Next up, we're checking in again with our own Crystal Thomas to find out what you can do to help keep DeKalb County beautiful. Crystal?
Thanks, Diamond. For our final check-in, we thought we'd show you the new code enforcement headquarters located right here on Candler Road. Did you know Keep DeKalb Beautiful works hard to make sure our county is clean and well-maintained? This includes various projects such as roadside enhancement, beautification projects, and the adopter program, which is where you come in. You too can get involved in helping keeping your community clean by collecting litter, maintaining the streets in your neighborhood, and by getting others involved. Maybe even adopt a road. Well, that's all the tips I have for you in this show, but I hope you've been encouraged to help keep DeKalb County beautiful. I'm Crystal Thomas. Let's talk DeKalb. Diamond, back to you.
Thanks, Crystal, for all your helpful information. Later on in the show, we'll show you the connection between DeKalb's sewer system and our economy. And we'll focus on details about DeKalb County's beautification efforts from our Roads and Drainage Department. Stay with us, you don't want to miss it.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm your host, Diamond Lewis, reporting to you from DCTV studios. This edition of Let's Talk DeKalb focuses on the beautification efforts underway in DeKalb County and the difference they're making. The roadside enhancement units are responsible for mowing and maintaining 5,000 miles of rights-of-way in DeKalb County. That's equally as important to the overall beautification of this county as our litter pickup and combating illegal dumping. We caught up with Deputy Director of Public Works, the Roads and Drainage Division, Ms. Peggy Allen, to learn more. Here's a look at my interview.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Peggy, and for welcoming us into your office.
Absolutely.
Now, talk to us about Operation Clean Sweep. What exactly is the Division of Roads and Drainage? What is your role specifically in Operation Clean Sweep?
I think Roads and Drainage has a very intimate role in the process. Initially, with the roll-off of Operation Clean Sweep, we joined other departments, sanitation, Parks and Rec, Watershed Department, also code enforcement, and, we all joined in together. But, as far as roads and drainage, we're where the rubber meets the road. We're out there, getting up garbage, getting up trash, cleaning out storm drains. We're right there on scene with everything.
Talk to me about how does Operation Clean Sweep impact your day-to-day operations?
That's a good question. Normally the calls that we get in roads and drainage for service, 50% of those calls are related to drainage, related to storm drains, water-related things. And Operation Clean Sweep addresses all those issues. We're out there cleaning soil, dirt, landscape debris out of the catch basins. So that's helping us with our day-to-day operations because we're doing things that we do normally on a day-to-day basis, and it's helping us greatly.
And as you said, your team is out there each and every day, regardless of the conditions and the environment. So talk to me about how have your team members received the work of Operation Clean Sweep and all that it entails?
Well, they're excited about it. Again, it's one of the things that we do every day, so we're accustomed to doing this type of work. But it gives the employees an opportunity to do work and to do things that they know the citizens appreciate. So it makes you feel a lot better when you're out there in the heat and in the rain and in the wind, when you know that what you're doing is benefiting the community and that the community really appreciates it.
Now, I've had the fun, and I say fun real loosely, I've had the fun of going out with you in all kinds of weather conditions.
Yes.
And I see the dedication of you and your team. But you call your team the other first responders. Talk to me about that T-shirt, which I love, and that motto and what that means.
Well, the crews are really excited about that motto because no matter what the weather, the storm, citizens, when you need help, the first thing you do is dial 911. Well, oftentimes, 911 dials roads and drainage to come and help out. So, we're there. When it's storming outside, if there's a tree down across the road, of course, public safety is there to secure the public, make sure everything is safe, but the next call goes out to roads and drainage. And we're there removing that debris, making things safe for citizens, so we are the other first responders.
And what's so awesome is because they're out there all the time, your guys are totally connected to the community. They work with the residents every day. Talk to me about some of the positive stories and feedback you receive from the work of our roads and drainage team.
Well, you're right. We're out there all the time, every day. People see our roads and drainage trucks, and they're waving at them in the community. They're offering them cold drinks in the summertime. Because we're out there, and we feel that we're a part of the community, not just working for the community. We're a part of the community.
Now, I know one of the major things you do is we're always talking about potholes and how we can get the potholes filled. So talk to me about if one of our viewers has an issue with the pothole in their community, how can they reach out to your department and say, hey, this is what's going on? Talk to us about that process.
We have a pothole hotline and we have a customer service number. And all we ask you to do is just call us, 297-3840. Just tell us where the pothole is and we'll respond. There are a lot of potholes out there, but we will respond and we'll take care of it for you.
That's wonderful. Did we leave anything out that you'd like to share about your department and the brave men and women who will go out there every single day here in DeKalb County?
Well, just that. I mean, you know, we have a medium-sized department, but every one of our men and women are dedicated to what they do. They show up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning every day, and it's not just a 5-day-a-week job. I mean, we work 6 days a week, every week. And, you know, on Sundays we do try to take a break, but we're there. And when the going gets rough or when the weather's bad or there are storms out there, we're there around the clock. And you know that personally because you've been here with us. So our guys are dedicated to what we do. They enjoy the work, and they enjoy being a part of the community.
Now, Peggy, I have to say thank you to you and your team for the work that you do each and every day, and certainly for your efforts with Operation Clean Sweep, because the community is looking so much nicer. I notice it every day as I'm driving in and out of work.
Thank you so much. We enjoy what we're doing.
Thanks so much again, Peggy. Throughout this special edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, we've shared information on litter and blight prevention. Now here's DCTV's own Aviva Hoffman, who has this report on what the county's doing to maintain our sewer system and why that's all so important to all of us. Aviva?
Some DeKalb employees are rolling up their sleeves and getting to work on a pretty dirty job as the county launches a major cleaning project to address its aging sewer system. It's been more than 50 years since the county's Department of Watershed Management took on a mission like this, but it's already creating dramatic results. The county's been cleaning small diameter sewers all along, but the new work focuses on the large diameter pipes 15 inches and greater.
These men and women are working with our vendors have removed more than 80 tons of sediment and debris from clogged sanitary sewers in a targeted, comprehensive effort to reduce sewer overflows and increase functional capacity within our sewer system.
And the county's just getting started. More than $16 million from county bonds have been appropriated to support the county-wide large diameter sewer cleaning initiative. And in response to a 2011 consent decree agreement with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the county is improving management and operations of its sewer system. A total of $65.8 million have been spent so far on consent decree-related items that will ultimately repair and enhance the sewer system. Rehabilitation and repairs are also planned and will be in construction before the end of 2017. All of these efforts aim to significantly reduce sanitary sewer overflows.
An increasing number of sanitary sewer spills impacts the quality of life for all the citizens, and it hinders, unless it's addressed, future economic growth and prosperity. Our water and sewer system is really the lifeline of DeKalb County. We must repair it, we must protect it, and we must maintain it going forward.
DeKalb has more than 26,000 miles of sewer lines. 818 of those are prioritized for immediate maintenance due to age and repeat overflows.
So if you've got obstructions, buildups in the sewer, fat oils and grease, rags, and roots, they're going to hinder flow in the pipe. And so what happens is eventually the flow will back up enough and that wastewater will actually overflow out of the pipe onto the street. So cleaning of the sewers is important to make sure that we keep the wastewater into the pipes.
This is the earlier stages with the assessment. Then comes the rehab side. So everything that we identify now, we ultimately will be fixing based off the data-driven infrastructure defects.
We're coming together trying to get the job done because at the end of the day, the first and most important job that I have is making sure that we take care of the 740,000 ratepayers of DeKalb County and that their money's spent wisely.
About 75% of the priority large sewer lines have already been inspected, with 38% of those lines assigned for cleaning. Of all the inspected lines so far, officials have found nearly half of them contain blockages that significantly reduce sewer flows. You may be wondering, how did we get here?
The biggest cause of sanitary sewer overflows in DeKalb County is grease. So if we could have residents, constituents not flush grease, if they wipe out their pans when they get finished cooking, if they have grease left over from cooking or anything like that, put it into a can, throw it away. Make sure they throw it away and don't wash out that pan and wash the grease, the fats, into our sewer system.
In fact, 60% of sanitary sewer overflows and reduced sewer capacity are the result of fats, oils, and grease, or fog, being poured down our drains. Working together, we can put a stop to fog clogs.
It's an ongoing and expanding effort to remind homeowners that the main thing they can do to help us keep the system clean, which then ultimately keeps their rates down, is to not put things into the sewer system like grease or wipes or other things that would clog a pipe, could clog your own lateral, go into the curb, could clog our mains once it all gets downstream and conglomerates.
These issues are decades in the making, but we didn't create them, but now I'm responsible and we're responsible for correcting them. I'm convinced that the citizens recognize that these are historical issues, but the expectation is that we must begin to address them. I believe that we are. We're moving in the right direction and making progress.
We all have to get involved. It ain't just a CEO thing or a commissioner's thing. It's a us thing. This is our DeKalb County, and that's what we're supposed to be, one DeKalb.
The work to get our sewer system in tip-top shape is expected to take 2 years to complete. DeKalb officials are determined to see this through, so we all can enjoy an improved quality of life here in DeKalb County with smart, future economic growth. Aviva Hoffman, Let's Talk DeKalb.
Thanks, Aviva, for that important information on DeKalb County's comprehensive sewer system cleaning. For more information and regular updates, be sure to go online and link to the Department of Watershed Management from the county's homepage at DeKalbCountyGA.gov. Up next on this special beautification edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, we'll recap the numbers and context for the topics we've covered today. But up first,
find out how one DeKalb County neighborhood is getting revamped and revitalized to provide a better quality of life for its residents.
That right after the break. Welcome back to this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm Diamond Lewis reporting from DCTV studios. Isn't it nice when you drive down the street and you see manicured corridors, streets free of litter and debris, and residents and business owners working together to keep our communities clean? When people take pride in where they live and do business, property values go up, crime goes down, and most importantly, everyone's quality of life improves. That's exactly what's happening right here in DeKalb County right now. In fact, it's a new day in DeKalb under the leadership of CEO Michael Thurman, who recently launched cleanup efforts all around DeKalb County and most recently at the Brandon Hill community. Let's take a look.
You've seen me throughout the show giving you tips on recycling, blight reduction, and how you can help keep DeKalb County beautiful. Now let's take a look at how all this comes together to help beautify one particular neighborhood right here in DeKalb County.
DeKalb County crews have been working hard throughout the county, getting rid of blight and revamping communities. And that's exactly what's taking place at the Brandon Hill condominiums in Clarkston.
Working with our commissioners, working with our departmental leaders, working with our employees, we will improve life in DeKalb for every citizen. And it doesn't matter whether you live in Brandon Hills, or Dunwoody, or Stone Mountain, you are us, and we are you.
The Brandon Hill condominiums were constructed in 1973 and have long been in disrepair. In 2016, DeKalb County obtained a court order which allowed the county to begin work on 4 of the most damaged buildings in the complex.
We're showing that we want to make this better, and we're committed as a governing authority to make it better.
These cleanup efforts at Brandon Hill are among the many projects taking place as a part of DeKalb County's Operation Clean Sweep, a year-round blight reduction initiative. As part of the mid-year budget, $1.2 million have been set aside for the sole purpose of reducing blight in our county.
This is an interdepartmental effort. We have multiple departments working together: beautification, sanitation, roads and drainage. There's a direct correlation between blight and increased criminal activity. But more importantly, this speaks to the broader community. We are all one.
Demonstrating that point, DeKalb County crews and officials are working harder than ever to complete this project.
We're all in agreement. This type of blight has to stop, has to end. We have to clean it up.
We want to make DeKalb County a beautiful county, a place where families can live, play, work, and grow, and feel safe in their own communities and environment.
But it doesn't end here. At that point, the trucks are going to roll out of here and they're going to travel about 14 miles to Seminole Road landfill.
Employees transported nearly 1,200 tons of debris from 2 damaged buildings in the Brandon Hill complex, completing phase 1 of these cleanup efforts. These beautification efforts have had a direct impact on the residents of the Brandon Hill community, helping provide them with the clean, safe neighborhood that they can be proud of.
We need your help. We need your help. And God bless America. Thank you for that.
The work at Brandon Hill isn't done yet. This is just the first step in many ongoing efforts to clean up our county.
When we improve life in Brandon Hills, we improve life throughout DeKalb County, Georgia. That is our commitment. That is our mission. This is not a resolution. This is a step in the right direction.
Phase 2 of the cleanup efforts at the Brandon Hill condominiums will occur later in 2017. For more information about this ongoing effort and other Operation Clean Sweep projects, go online to DeKalbCountyGA.gov/clean-sweep. Crystal Thomas, Let's Talk DeKalb.
Wow, what a difference. Thanks for that report. We hope you've enjoyed this special edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. If you want to find out more about some of the things we've talked about today, be sure to note these websites and telephone numbers. To keep tabs on Operation Clean Sweep and which roadways and streets are next on the list for a clean sweep, you can see an ongoing updated list online at the county's homepage. Just look for roadside enhancement under the Beautification Department. To reach DeKalb County's Code Enforcement Department, call 404-687-3700. To keep up with many of the beautification projects offered in DeKalb County, be sure to check out Keep DeKalb Beautiful online at the county's homepage. You can also reach them by phone at 404-371-2654. If you have a sewage spill in your area, report it immediately by calling 770-270-6243 and press the number 2, or email DeKalbWaterOps@DeKalbCountyGA.gov. And if you haven't already, be sure to sign up for the convenient, easy curbside recycling program and help keep recyclable materials out of the Seminole landfill. Call 404-294-2900 to reach the Sanitation Department for more information. And for more information on any of the county's services and events, be sure to check out the county's website at DeKalbCountyGA.gov. Also, don't forget to tell us here at DCTV your thoughts on this and all of our other programming. You can send us an email at dctv@DeKalbCountyGA.gov, or make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel. Simply search DeKalb County Gov on YouTube. You can also find our link to the website and all of our social media channels when you click DCTV right from the county's homepage. That address again is DeKalbCountyGA.gov. Or give us a call at 404-371-2989. Well, that does it for this special beautification edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm Diamond Lewis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.